$5,000. That's the gap between the Shark 6 you already know and the performance variant, which just became the quickest ute in Australia. 350 kilowatts, a tonne more towing, 0 to 100 in 5.5 seconds. But here's the strange bit. I sat down with Stephen Collins, the COO of BYD Australia, and he told me only 25% of buyers will pick it. So why would BYD undervalue a product that's clearly superior? And for the 18,000 Aussies who already own a Shark 6, did BYD just stitch you up?
The Australian dual cab ute market is notoriously brutal. If you don't tow 3.5 tonnes, you're barely in the conversation. When the BYD Shark 6 first launched, it had loads of tech, but it came with one glaring Achilles heel, and that was it could only tow 2,500 kilos. That means that BYD left the heavy lifting up to the likes of the Toyota Hilux and Ford Ranger. Well, not anymore. This is the new BYD Shark 6 Performance, and it's proof that BYD is listening to Aussie buyers.
I'm going to explain everything that's important about this new performance variant, but we're also going to get hands-on with the new cab chassis variant, which will all but certainly disrupt the fleet buyer market. But first,
it's under the skin that the serious changes in this car have occurred. Now, the 1.5 litre engine from the regular Shark is gone. Now, it packs a bigger turbocharged engine, an upgraded electric motor up front, and a massive 350 kilowatts of power. Not only does that make this the most powerful dual cab ute in Australia right now, but it also unlocks the magic number, 3.5 tonnes of towing. So is this the ute that will finally kill off the industry heavyweights? Let's check it out. So one of the big selling points in the new Shark 6 Performance is this dedicated crawl mode. So this is going to be available in an over-the-air update for existing Shark models, but it's standard on this performance vehicle. So flick it on here, and then when you hit agree, you'll have to listen carefully. So there was a little beep there, but the petrol engine switches on as well, so you can't use this in EV mode. So BYD says it works best at around 12 kilometers an hour, but it's capped at something like 20 k's an hour, and it constantly manages the torque to each individual wheel and helps prevent wheel spin. So in tricky technical off-road stuff like ruts or loose rocks or steep inclines is where it comes in handy. It also comes in handy if you decide you want to tug of war something like another vehicle. Apparently this is a big thing in China. What stands out most about the Shark 6 on-road is the ride quality. Unlike a lot of diesel dual cab utes that have traditional setups with leaf springs in the rear, this doesn't. It has independent double wishbone suspension all round, and that makes it feel more like, I guess, an SUV than a ute. It feels a lot more tied down, but it also feels really athletic too, thanks to that electrified powertrain.
But the performance adds another layer of athleticism. And while the Shark 6 was already an impressively quick machine, the added power and torque makes the new version even punchier. But it's off-road that the new variant really shines.
So according to BYD, the new crawl mode changes the way that the traction control system works. So slippery inclines and deep ruts, all that low-speed technical stuff that the Shark was pretty, I don't want to say bad, but it wasn't great at before, is supposedly much better. So we're going to go test that now in some off-road, tricky, hopefully, terrain.
With crawl mode engaged, steep, slippery inclines are managed with ease, even on the stock Continental tyres fitted. Yes, there are still some moments of hesitation where the traction control system seems to spend a few seconds working out what it needs to do before it powers you forward, but first impressions? It feels like a real improvement compared to the first Shark 6. That said, this first taste is fairly tame, so we'll reserve judgment until we've taken it further off-road.
I'm going to take it up this really steep concrete hill now. And I can hear the tyres screeching. I saw another Shark going up it before, and it is just sort of clipping the rear tyres as it's trying to get it up the hill. And yeah, well, that one, even with muddy tyres, much easier getting up there that time. All right, so we've got it in hill descent control again. We're going down a little bit of a rutty, gravelly hill, and it's nice. The descent control is nice and smooth. Got no feet on the pedals and no hands on the wheel. The performance variant starts at $62,900 before on-roads. That's about $5,000 more than the premium version, which has been on sale now for some time.
Design-wise, you'd be hard-pressed to spot any changes. The Performance gets the same LED lighting signature and runs the same 18-inch alloy wheels. Underneath those, however, are beefed-up brakes with larger discs and pads up front. But that's it. There's no real changes from the outside that you're going to be able to see here.
So while nothing's really changed on the outside, the interior has changed, not significantly, but a fair bit. So let me just show you. There is now, you'll see probably pretty quickly if you're familiar with the Shark, you'll notice there's no gear stick here. So that's now moved to a stalk mounted gear stick here. And then your indicators are on this side, wipers there as well.
Exterior lighting controls are now embedded within the touchscreen, which not everyone will be a fan of. You still get a wireless phone charging pad, and there's now additional storage within the center console, as well as a row of flush buttons rather than the current model's toggle switches. Drive mode toggles on the steering wheel have also been removed, and so has the genuine leather upholstery. It's now a faux leather-wrapped steering wheel, which feels a little grippier because it's a little bit more porous. This new layout will soon feature across the entire Shark range, added to dynamic and premium models in a midlife update coming soon.
Well, just like the exterior, the rear seat hasn't changed. So you still get plenty of headroom back here for an adult. You've got a flat floor, so there's plenty of toe room. Leg room's really good. And then you've got your power plug down here. You've got 2 USB ports and a little bit of storage here as well. So yeah, decent amenity in the rear seat of the Shark 6 Performance. But again, it's just like the Shark 6 Premium. So of course, total system outputs here have been much improved. 350 kilowatts, 700 Newton meters. That makes this the most powerful factory dual cab ute you can buy in Australia today. And it undercuts the price of the mid-spec Hilux or Ranger V6 while delivering almost double the power.
Which is what makes BYD's own forecast so strange. When I sat down with Stephen Collins, the COO of BYD Australia, he told me they only expect 25% of buyers to pick the Performance. He also told me, and I'm quoting here, 9 times out of 10, planning assumptions are wrong. So even BYD doesn't really know how to value what they've just built. To highlight its newfound towing capability, BYD hooked a big caravan up to one of the Performance models and let us go for a spin. After a few laps, which included some emergency braking, hard acceleration, and a lane change activity, the Shark's efforts were convincing. It's calm, confident, and surprisingly serene inside the cabin at high speeds. Sure, it's obvious you're lugging a big van behind you and it takes a little more effort to build speed, but the Shark didn't struggle one bit. Good thing, given we were towing well below its limits.
All right, so this one's going to be interesting. We're going to do an emergency brake with this big caravan on the back. Not something I've ever done before, so this will be fun. So we're doing 80 Ks and I'm going to hit the brakes in 3, 2, 1. And we've got our trailer braking, or our caravan braking. That was more impressive than I expected, to be honest. I didn't think we would pull up that quick, but yeah, and it was so stable and calm as well.
But all that comes at a cost, and the Performance is a slightly heavier vehicle, tipping the scales at 2,775 kilos. As a result, payload has taken a hit, dropping from 790 kilos in the Shark 6 Premium down to 725 kilos in this new Performance model. Something worth noting if you intend on lugging big loads.
Well, we're on the launch of the Shark 6 Performance, but also the cab chassis. So I thought I'd show you this one quickly. This is a new cab chassis variant. So this now sits at the bottom of the range underneath the regular Premium, and it actually uses the same powertrain as the Premium. So this is the 1.5 litre petrol engine combined with 2 electric motors. That means it also tows 2.5 tonnes like the regular Shark 6. So it doesn't have the same 3.5 tonne towing, unfortunately.
But we're told a more powerful cab chassis version is on the way, and it could be here before the end of 2026. If I'm honest, it feels like a bit of a missed opportunity to bring a work-ready cab chassis version of the Shark here without 3.5 tonne towing. But BYD expects this entry-level variant to be very popular when it comes to fleet sales.
As you can see, this one is loaded. It's got about 400 kilos in the tray here is what we've been told. And I quite like this system, although you've got to kind of push that, and then you've got to line this up. I had a little bit of trouble with this yesterday, and it's going to be difficult because I only have one hand right now, but if I've got to push that side in and push that at the same time. Anyway, enough of that. What I wanted to show you back here is these storage pod things, like little toolbox things on either side. These are lockable, and there's one on either side. This is where you come to charge the battery. So this is great. I mean, they had to find somewhere to reroute the plug because in the regular Shark 6 with the tub, it's in the actual tub. Now they've had to put this in here. Can you imagine losing the keys to this? So you lock it up here. Then you can't charge your car. I mean, you'd have to just get a locksmith or whatever, you break into it, whatever you need to do. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there could have been a better solution. I just don't know what it is. What is the better solution? I'm not sure. Okay, while we're here, I'll show you the interior of the cab chassis. So this is what the regular Shark 6 interior looks like now. But as you've seen, the performance gets some slight upgrades, and those will eventually filter into all the other Shark versions as well. So basically get rid of this interior, which you will have seen in the current Shark 6. And it will all be what you've seen in the performance. So steering wheel and a couple of things in the center console here will change. So what's the verdict? Well, when the Shark 6 first arrived, it really disrupted the dual cab ute segment. And I think this new performance version is going to do just that all over again. There's now 3.5 tonne towing for the Shark. There's also the cab chassis version. Yes, it can only tow 2.5 tonnes like the regular Shark Premium, but we're told that cab chassis versions will eventually be available with the same 2-litre engine and get the 3.5 tonne towing as well.
Which brings us back to the 18,000 Aussies who bought a Shark 6 in the last 12 months. The good news is crawl mode is coming to your car via an over-the-air update. The bad news is the towing limit isn't. If you tow under 2.5 tonnes, well, you've got the right ute. If you tow above it, the performance variant might have just made your 6-month-old ute the wrong choice.
For now, have your say in the comments and let us know what you think of the new Shark 6 performance. Did we even need a Shark that can tow 3.5 tonnes?